Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Tuesday and it's 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm excited that you guys took time out of your busy schedule to join me on the show today. I tell you, we got a guest. He's coming. He's running a little late, got stuck in traffic. The legendary Mr. John T. Thompson is going to be our guest today. As you know, last week we had a guest that was a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award winner, and this week's guest is also the same fraternity. Okay, so I'm looking forward to him coming on telling us his story on today. So before I get started with the show, I always like to give a shout out. A shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of the 30 plus years that we have been traveling together, he has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to both him and his family. And the reason why I talk about mentors so much is because I want you all to understand the value of having a mentor. You know, mentors can come in many different categories, just depending on what it is that you do and how you associate. Mentors have been in this world a long time, and they have traveled through many roads, and they can keep you headed in the right direction. So I always encourage people to seek out a mentor. I have several in my life in various different capacities. And I talk about Dr. Hunt because he and I have traveled this country together, and he has allowed me to glean from him some of the expertise that he has had and some of the things that he has done. It's so funny. Sometimes I used to drive Dr. Hunt across country, and he would go to sleep and wake up, and I'd be doing like 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. And he'd be like, pull over. I said, huh? He'd wake up out of a dead sleep. He said, just pull over. I said, pull over. He said, yeah, ain't nobody driving my car faster than me. So then he got to do 100 miles an hour to match it. But we have traveled, and by the grace of God, we have safely got to where we were going and home again. So I applaud Dr. Hunt for all of the expertise that he has had and all he has shared as a mentor. So I encourage you to get a mentor, somebody you can trust, somebody you can count on to help navigate you through this thing called life, and then be a blessing to them as they are a blessing to you. Okay? So I'm going to go over here and invite you guys over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to browse around and take a look at all of the advertisers that I have listed on my website. All these people help make it possible for me to do what I do. This is a list of some of the advertisers, and let's talk about them a little bit. The first one is Sir Synergy. If you're interested in having a consultant, someone that knows about the solar energy space, reach out to Sir Synergy. Sir Synergy can help you understand the do's and don'ts and help you navigate through what the solar energy space is all about. We had Osei on last week, and he talked about, he's not going to put solar panels on your house, but he can help you kind of navigate the agreement, the pull the curtain back and help you understand what it is that you're signing up for. So if you're interested in understanding how the solar energy industry works from an industry insider, you definitely want to talk to Sir Synergy. They can help you understand what's going on with the solar energy world. Port Again Sam. Now, Port Again Sam has been with me for 30 plus years. And out of the 30 plus years he's been with me, he has been sponsoring and bringing in some of the best wines and spirits from all over the world. And when he brings it in, I tell you, it's all exclusive stuff. Okay, wines and cognacs, you will not be able to buy it any place else. And once you get it, I'm encouraging you to get enough of it, because you're going to find something that you like, and you definitely don't want to run out. Okay, I'm just going to tell you point blank, you do not want to run out. You want to make sure that you got enough to carry you through the holiday season. I just talked to Port Again Sam on last week. They got their holiday inventory in. And if you have never, ever had a wine tasting, you need to click on any one of the banners on the website, and it'll take you directly to the website, and you can request a wine tasting so you can find your new favorite wine, because I promise you, he's going to find something that you like. And I promise you, you're going to feel like I cannot live without it. So definitely click on the banner, go over to Port Again Sam, and when you get over there, I'm going to want you to order your wine tasting, and then boom, you'll be ready for the holiday season. Okay, Port Again Sam. He's got it going on, y'all. I'm telling you, the new holiday inventory is in. You don't want to miss out. All right. I want to talk about the Prince Hunter Financial Group. Now, we did a special on the Prince Hunter Financial Group about almost a month ago now. We did 4 shows straight in a row. And we had Norman on the show. And Norman has taught so many people about the stock market. If you have curiosities or interested in learning about the stock market, you definitely want to get the Prince Hunter Financial Group to be your instructors. They have people that have programs where you can earn as you learn. He can teach you how to turn so much money in the stock market that you'll quit your day job. Yeah, I went out there and said it. So you definitely want to reach out to him. He's got a special promotion going on right now with anybody that's listening to this show or been a part of hearing what's going on with the Prince Hunter Financial Group. Four free classes. 4 free classes. Get your classes free. 4 of them. It's a promotion, special promotion. Call them up and say, hey, you heard about it on the show. I want my 4 free classes. I'm ready to learn so that I can start my journey with understanding how the stock market works. And then that way you can move into being able to make money that will allow you to be able to get to a place in your lifetime, not somebody else's, not future wealth, but right now wealth, so that you can quit your day job. Now, I said a mouthful right there, so you want to reach out, click on any of the banners, especially this one, and set up your appointment to get your 4 free classes. Okay, slots are definitely filling up. You don't want to miss out on being able to get your free classes. Okay, holiday season is coming up, so I know some of y'all need some extra money. Hey, this is an opportunity to be able to do it. Okay, so I'm kind of waiting on our guest, Mr. John Thompson, to come on board. He was stuck in traffic a little bit, so as you can tell, I'm moving kind of slow because I'm giving him an opportunity to get to his computer so that he can fire up and get on the show with us. I want to talk about my website a little bit more. I tell you what I want you to do. When you get over there to the website, I want you to notice that I also have affiliates that I work with. You know, there are other media outlets that are part of what we associate with as a group of us. And we're not mainstream media, not at all. But we do bring to you the opportunity to be able to hear some things on our show that you won't be able to hear anyplace else. So check out our affiliates as well as our other advertisers that are on the show as well, on the website as well. So you definitely want to go over there, check them out, see what's going on. As you can tell, I'm waiting on Mr. John Thompson to get in front of his computer. He should be arriving shortly. He was only like 5-10 minutes away. So I'm trying to give him an opportunity to get situated. He's like OJ used to be running through the airport right now trying to get in front of his computer so that we can get this on and going. Now I'm going to talk about Mr. Thompson a little bit. John Thompson, I have had the privilege and the honor of knowing since the 70s. And John Thompson has been involved with the community since he came home from the military. He was in the military, he went away, came back, and he got involved with working with young people, working with city governments. He has worked with many of the city governments throughout the South suburban area, what they call the Southland. He has been an expert with economic development projects that have gone off in the South suburban area. He has had his hand, giving counsel and helping people understand, how to apply for grants, how to apply for government assistance to help with their projects. I remember John back in the early days, 70s, when he used to sit on the CETA board. And they used to have an organization called CETA, T-A. And with the CETA, it was a training program where young people like myself could sign up for learning different trades. Like I went to school for radio and TV repair. Also went to school for welding. I went to school for auto mechanics. I can't think of all the things that I went to school for because they paid us. It was a training act. They paid us to go to school to learn various skills and trades, and that was in the middle to late 70s. And, those skills, each of those skills that I had learned, at that time, I was able to go out and get a job doing those things. I remember, many of you all are too, you may be old enough to remember, they used to have radio and TV repair where TVs had big picture tubes in them, big picture tube. And, when they started going solid state, that's when they had electronics in them, that were not tubes, because we used to be able to test tubes and replace a tube in the television to make it work right. And then they went solid state, and, we had to learn how to do that too. So, we used to go to people's houses and they had televisions that were like pieces of furniture, big consoles. Big consoles, where they had television, they had a record player, they had a radio in it, and you turn that thing on and it would buzz first, and then all of a sudden it give you a picture, So back in the day, we used to have to go out to people's houses and fix them up so that folks could, understand what's going on with their TV, So it was, and we fix them. It was very interesting, how technology had advanced so that when the technology advanced, now they just throw TVs away. You know, they're LEDs, LCDs. When they go bad, they just go get another one because they're so cheap to build. You know, right now, television, you go get it, they hang it on the wall, and it's as big as the wall, 90 inches or 96 inches or whatever they got, and you got your home theater, and you can sit there and watch TV, and it's just like being in the stadium. The technology is so close, right there for you, so beautiful of a technology nowadays. But back in the old days, you had to learn a little something to make them work right. And John was part of a program that targeted young people in the community to learn these things. And those programs went away after a while. And he worked with other youth in the community as well. John is responsible for a lot of young people in camp programs, business camp programs. And I'm wishing he would hurry up and get here because I'm singing his song, but I need to have him sing his song, and I'm sure he's getting closer and closer because he was only like 5 minutes away, and that was 10 minutes ago. So I'm hoping that he pops up any second now so we can get him on the show so that we can talk about some of the things that he has done in the community and have the ability, to understand even the more why he was a recipient of a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. He has been a very valuable asset in the community. And, today his schedule just got a little twisted up. He wasn't able to get back by 4:30, but like I said, I talked to him a little while ago. As a matter of fact, while I have you on the line, I'm going to see how much closer he is, so I can determine how much longer I have to stall in order to get him on the air. Let's check and see here. We're going to give him a call, and hopefully he'll answer. I know he told me he was stuck in traffic. And we just going to give a progress report here because, Mr. Thompson? Okay. Oh, he's working on it, y'all. He's at his computer. He's trying to get it on. Did you open up Skype? Okay. And then once I see you, then I'll be able to give you a call because I'm sitting here looking at it, waiting on you to open up. I was actually, just so you're aware, I was telling the people about back in the good old days when you were working with the CETA program, when you had organized and helped a lot of young people learn about skills and trades, welding, auto mechanics, radio, TV repair. And of course, when you talk about radio and TV repair, you got to explain to people that there was this big old thing called the television. It had the record player and the radio, and it was a piece of furniture that sat in everybody's living room. And they used to have tubes in them, and you had to know how to go in there and find out what was wrong with it. Okay, I see you, and we're coming on board right now. I saw him pop online there. Let's see, can we get him connected here? I hear it ringing. There you go. I'm gonna hang up the phone. All right. He's chiming in, y'all. We getting him there. He's a little technically challenged for a second there, but I hear it ringing, so I guess he'll be joining us shortly. Okay. He's still having difficulty pushing the start button. Yep. I see him online. He was there a second ago. So hold on. We're working through technical difficulties here. Y'all hang in there with me 1 second. We will have him on the show. Okay, something happened. Are you there, sir? There he is. Okay. All right, stand by, y'all. I'd like to welcome to the show. He's been on the show before. And he is, like I said, I've been dealing with John Thompson for since the 70s. That's a long time, y'all. He's been a hero in the community. He's been a brother and a friend. Welcome back to the show, Mr. John Thompson.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Go ahead.
How's everything?
Everything is good, man. Can you hear me good?
I hear you fantastic. I hear you clear.
Good, good, good. I was
Hmm.
giving people your legacy and history a little bit about back in the 70s. They don't even talk about the legacy of the CETA program anymore. That was something that is so far removed and gone that people don't even remember that it even happened. But, go ahead.
Comprehensive employment and training program, and you had CETA,
Right, which
which
is still around.
Economic and Development Association, and CETA was a federally funded program through the county,
Mm-hmm.
and they had all of these different training branches.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people don't may not remember, but they may remember Lincoln Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they had commercials fixing automobiles. You had Cordon Bleu, which was a culinary art program. You had Mista, which taught dot metrics and
Mm-hmm.
typing and uh, computer programming. Safety and Security Institution, Goodwill Institution. There were a lot of what I would call classes that were more or less vocational programs. Dawson Institute, Washburn. Those were schools that you could go to and take apprentice programs and learn how to paint and hardware,
Carpentry. Yep.
carpentry, painting, electrical program, wiring, plumbing. You had multitude of training classes and training programs like that all through the South Suburban and Chicagoland area. Um, I don't see that anymore.
No.
I don't,
No.
students only have one thing: go to school, get your high school
College.
education, and then
Yep.
go to college.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
There's
And then if you're lucky, you might be able to go to truck driving school. If you're lucky.
true that you may be able to go to truck driving school,
Yeah.
but and it's kind of odd because there were so many things that you could go and train in and get a job.
And make good money.
Very good money.
Yep.
Um, Auto mechanics,
Yep.
um, body and fender. Uh, it's just now it's so limited. You don't see those kind of programs. I don't know what the food service industry has out as far as educational programs, but people would like to become chefs and they wanted to cook and learn how to be, culinary art experts. They even had bartending so that you learn how to professionally be a bartender and pour drinks and serve service provider. Hotel, um,
Management services.
yeah,
Yep.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Hotel management services.
Yeah.
Um, Also, you had different type of technical engineering. Not
Mm-hmm.
just janitorial. You had other kind of technical
Right.
engineering that you could do. So those things are lost to the newer generations, and I think that's kind of like a shame. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a shame because everybody's not cut out for college, and everybody's not cut out to go to a specific type of educational facility. So they're looking now, what about training facilities and vocational arts? Those were good
Mm-hmm.
programs and were very popular programs for a lot of people.
Yeah. And then they paid us to go to school.
Yeah, they
I
pay your tuition.
remember. I remember back in the days, when CETA was around. They gave us a stipend every week that we were in attendance. They gave us, they used to call them bus tokens back then, where you can ride to CTA
Hmm.
because CTA and train went everywhere. So we were able to get to school, do what we had to do. There was no excuses why we couldn't get to our classes and go through our programs because we got a check and then they paid us to go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was so good to me. I went through 3 or 4 programs, because it wasn't no limit how many you could take.
But you know what was good about that? It kept you occupied.
Absolutely.
And kept you off the streets.
Absolutely.
If you were, out there thinking that was the only lifestyle that you had. You found that a lot of seniors even they had senior programs where you could retrain if your particular skill level changed and or that service wasn't needed as much as it used to be. They had other programs that seniors could even go and take. It wasn't just an age criteria. It was a need criteria.
Absolutely.
And I think our young people are losing out because they're looking for a way to make it. It doesn't matter if your parents make money. It's how you make your money.
And how you going to survive going forward.
Correct.
That's the key right there. And I was giving people the scenario back in the 70s, what you were a part of then, because, we go back that far. Mm-hmm. Now, you've been on the show, many times before, and you've worked with, local government. I was explaining to the people that you were part of economic development in the Southland for just about every mayor, every city in the area. And, you've had your hands in positive influences all through the communities, even had a camp. Talk about your camp for a second. Didn't you have a camp over in Markham where you were working with young people during the summer times?
That was a Cook County summer youth program. Okay. And then we had a year-round program.
Okay.
We were instead of abandoning the school, we took the school and turned it into something like an educational incubator and training facility where we took young folks and gave them opportunities to work in different municipalities, doing public works, doing clerical work, working in the offices, librarian work, just every field that was available that needed employment and would like to help train younger people and other people of other ages, if they needed training, there was multitudes of programs and jobs out there that people would love to have help with. And at the same time, they're teaching our young people and our unemployed families, giving them an opportunity to train in a different field. And they got paid from the government to do that training and work there. Mm-hmm. So it was a win-win. The company that was training you won. They had government employment. You got paid to be there. You got a stipend to get on the public transportation if you wasn't driving. So there was a lot going on. And it was solidified because a lot of those young folks and people and seniors got jobs. Mm-hmm. And they remember that these programs, the Public Service Employment Program, PSE, there was the Mature program, which was for seniors over 50, where they could go to a training center at Dawson Institute, and a bus would take them back and forth from the suburbs to the city. There were many different types of programs like that. EEO, Employment Opportunity Programs, EEOC. And then you had, these were all government jobs where you had police officers being trained to work in communities and train and get paid from the government to do these things. Mm-hmm. I mean, and then all of a sudden, they say they weren't successful. How can you say that? All of the millions and billions of dollars that we have in the government entities, they're no longer servicing our young people like they used to. Mm. They don't have the skill set to say, well, I'm getting ready to go to work. Well, where do you work? I work in the city of Markham. I work in the city of Harvey. I work in the city of Chicago Heights. And a lot of our younger people, and well, at this time they would be in their 30s, 40s, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, became successful with the training and being in that step in, pre-trained. If they wanted to do the job right, they got an opportunity to get hired. And it was very good programs for our people.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, I applaud you for you sticking with the community in the South suburban area, because you could have very easily, with your skill set, went anywhere in the country, but you stayed at home. I was explaining to them after you came home from, dealing with the army and the war and Vietnam. You came home and got busy, working in the community, and you stayed in the community in which you were, raised up in, and I applaud you for that. You know, now I explained to the people early on, because we talked about OSE last week.
Hmm.
OSE, was a Lifetime Achievement Award winner, just like you are. And I want people to understand your story, why you are a hero in our community. And some of the things we just talked about, it kind of explains it a little bit more. But since the 70s, man, I've been kicking it with you since the 70s. Didn't nobody have to give me your resume. When I say John Thompson, they know. you know, John? Yeah, I know John. And I ain't gonna tell you how well I know John. you know, you know, it
Well,
was funny. It was funny at the award ceremony on 6/22. Mayor Webb, the
mhm.
former mayor of Markham, came up to acknowledge us all. Because he's like, yeah, I've been knowing them boys, them men, or them fellas, whatever he called us, because he older than us,
uh,
you know.
he, 1 year, just 1 year older.
Okay.
Yeah, he was just 1 year older than me, and
Uh
he
huh.
called me. Uh, yeah, he thought he had adopted me,
Yeah.
and I accepted it. I told him, "Well, go ahead and adopt me. Let's move forward with this community. Let's move forward in our
Yeah.
city. Let's help young people from, and not just from Markham, from Harvey, from Dixmoor, from Phoenix,
Everywhere.
from Midlothian, from Posen, Country Club Hills, Ford Heights." We work with everybody, Hazelcrest, and
Yeah.
at that time there weren't but before that there weren't a lot of black mayors in the
And
south
managers.
suburbs.
That's right.
uh,
Yep.
in the late early 60s and late 60s, before I went to the service, they had still had bad racism out in the south suburbs.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Woo.
they would tell you you couldn't eat in some of the better restaurants out here. Um, you couldn't shop in certain stores without them watching you,
Can't
like you would
drive down
steal.
their streets. Come on now.
You couldn't go to Olympia Fields if you were two young guys in a car driving through Olympia Fields going home, maybe to Chicago Heights or the Park Forest or whatever. They would stop you just because and
Absolutely.
ask you, why are you in this residency?
Yep.
Why are you in this area, this community? Um, it was really different.
Outrageous.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, it was outrageous. But when Webb came up to congratulate us for receiving, he used the vernacular that I've been knowing these cats since the 70s, and we ain't all been rackly right. You remember when he said that?
Yes, I do.
He said, but these guys done come a long way and have done great things. That's what he said. So I look at that as an applause.
Well, a lot of people might not remember Harvey Chrysler Plymouth. You
Mm-hmm.
remember Harvey Chrysler Plymouth?
Absolutely.
That was one of the first black car dealers in the south suburbs.
Yep.
They sold
Bobby Faulkner.
Bobby
Yep.
Faulkner, and Mayor Webb was a salesman there. Otis Gilmore.
Yep.
Um,
Finance man.
yeah, we had Norm Russell and numerous other folks, and Johnny Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
People that were community-based people worked
Right.
over at Harvey Chrysler Plymouth, and they sold a lot of cars to affordable cars to black families that needed these cars
Yep.
because they couldn't buy a car at Bauer Buick or uh, what was that, Shaw Ford or Deal Ford,
Mm-hmm.
and all of those kind of community-based car dealerships that weren't black. You couldn't just go and get a car. You know, it was kind of hard. So when they had that dealership, it
Yep.
generated a great amount of revenue for the South suburban area. And people
Right.
wouldn't understand what I mean by a great amount of revenue. They had one of the largest dealerships in the South suburban area
Everybody
at
had a
that time.
Chrysler.
Everybody had a Chrysler.
Everybody had a Chrysler.
Those little
Nobody turned away. Yep.
ugly LeBarons. uh, yeah,
Oh man.
they had some ugly cars, but
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
if you could get a
Yeah.
car though.
Look,
You could get a car.
dusters. You remember the duster? They had
Yeah,
that little old thing.
yeah.
Yeah. And see, back then, that was in the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the transition from the big tanks down to the little affordable cars. You
Novas,
know,
Dusters,
yeah, yeah, all of them,
yeah,
all of them.
what was that? Pintos
Yeah, oh my God,
and
yeah,
Yugo.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So, what are you doing nowadays? I know you know, tell the people what you got going on now. I know your legacy has been in government and economic development. So, what's your projects like today?
Well, most of the people might have heard of the problems that were going on in the village of Dixmoor.
Mm-hmm.
The water main breaks, um, an act of God or act of nature. But when you have old infrastructure, um, it's quite easy to start having expensive problems that you aren't planned for. You're not ready for. You don't have the funding to take $20 million and start rebuilding your system. Um, our small black communities like Dixmoor, Robbins, um, what you got, Phoenix, um, oh, Ford Heights, South Village. A lot of those smaller communities just don't have the revenue, but they have infrastructure, sewers, um, water lines, lighting. All of these things are old. They're rusted out and they have acid rain that's eating up the systems and they start springing leaks. So if there's start springing leaks and you put a band-aid on it, that changes the pressure and they get you get a pipe to bust down the street, and then the next thing you know you got, it's just like a domino effect. You're putting band-aids on veins and they just keep popping, and you
Mm-hmm.
the only thing to fix that would be to go in and replace that whole line so that you don't have to worry about these veins popping all up and down the line. So in the village of Dixmoor, I'm helping with the water main problems. The sewers are the next problems because they're just as old as our water lines. And we're going to try to replace all of those. I think the village has made an excess of maybe $15 million in government help from the county, the state, um, uh, the federal government has tried to infuse enough money for the village not to keep having that kind of problem. And of course, when you have water main breaks and you have sewer breaks, it's a health hazard. Health and safety is in effect. You have seniors that need to have that energy, that water system flowing, that need those sanitary sewers, flowing freely. They can't afford to replace their sewer lines to their homes. So these are good projects to try to infuse into our community. Updating digital lighting so that our kids leave school and be safe. We're trying to get lighting for the village so that um, you don't have those dark spots where kids can
Mm-hmm.
walk up and down the street and feel safe, where seniors and families can walk up and down their village streets and feel comfortable and feel safe, and cameras that will be able to see certain locations so that people will have security systems. You don't want roaming bands of people from other communities coming into your community, destroying property, burglarizing, and things of that nature. So we're looking at security for safety and health reasons. So we just finished a 10-year plan, a 5-year short plan, and a 10-year long-term plan to get the certain things that the village needs. And so we staged it in quadrants of 2 to 3 years. Every 2 to 3 years, we may replace a whole section of dissipated sewers and water mains. So we're trying to get this stage done so that we can help communities stay flowing. The village of Dixmoor. Also was working in the village of Robbins, trying to acquire all of the land that has been acquired by other communities. That there is a question mark about who owns the property. So we're looking at our village borders and trying to make sure that the tax-based fundings that's coming from the businesses are going to the right communities. Prime example, a lot of people in the village of Dixmoor use, because their address, they use the Blue Island post office. So they put down that they live in Blue Island. Now, when you start thinking about that, and a lot of people do that, where do their taxes go?
Exactly.
So does the village of Blue Island get the taxes for Robbins residents, or does Robbins get the taxes? Does Dixmoor get their taxes, or does Blue Island get their taxes? So your community has to be educated on check your tax forms.
Right.
See where your revenue going. I found at Robbins,
Crestwood probably was stealing their money.
some of it, and even all the way to Summit. Summit Library System was getting the tax base from Robbins, some of Robbins funding.
Wow.
And that's kind of weird, because you would think that someone in the governmental entity would go and check this out to make sure that all of the village is getting their revenue stream. And so it's not important until but the pocket gets kind of thin. Your funds aren't right there. You don't have fat pockets anymore. So you're looking for where your revenue is. So they called me in, and we my team, my company, Municipal Planning and Development Group.llc.org.
Went in there, found the money.
Well, we find that there are issues with land ownership. Who owns this property? And then where's our tax base going?
Right.
And when you open those questions, now they have to go back and we trace them. And you found out that there was a handshake. There's a handshake in some communities that the property was just used by another city, and they just
said okay.
Yeah.
They said okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me say this. I remember the time, because I've been in the south suburbs since the 70s, early 70s. I remember the time when they used to call Robbins Little Mississippi. You remember them days?
Well, yeah, even before that, Robbins was a very popular black community.
Yeah.
And people would go far and wide to go to Robbins to party.
Right.
Because you felt kind of safe going into a black community. And at that time, it was basically it was just as safe as anything else.
Right.
And you could go and you could enjoy yourself, and you didn't have the police pulling up on you, asking you to roll down your window just because you walked out of a lounge. You didn't have, if the police stopped you, they would try to help you because they knew you were coming back to spend more money in the community. They wouldn't.
Absolutely.
They didn't harass you. And it's sad that we have to go through that in the 21st century.
Yeah.
To this day,
Yes, sir.
we still have
That's
to go
true.
through that, being challenged.
Yep. Absolutely. You ain't never lied, sir. So it's good that you guys are fact checking, as they say, who's on first, who's on second, keeping stuff going. So I know you stay busy when it comes to, helping communities like Robbins, Dixmoor, Phoenix, all of the communities that are small. They're small. And they need help where people with a trained eye like yourself and your company are able to look at them and see. We got about 10 or 15 minutes left in the show. I want to talk about the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. What is it? What did it mean to you to receive it on this year?
Let me say this to you, Ron, and it's kind of heartwarming to have someone honor you like yourself, to think enough about someone to give them some kudos for what they have done. And, you know, most of the time, like, I don't so much need the accolades, but I do like every once in a while to hear that I did do something good for the young folks in the community and for the communities that I did work for. Um, I chaired the board for Southland Tourist and Convention Bureau, um, which is where every city in the south suburbs has a hotel or a motel. Um, I chaired the board for those communities because there was a tax that was generated, and tourism in the south suburban area was dwindling. There wasn't enough tourism, meaning what? Why would the south suburban area be a destination for tourism? So we studied that, and we found that um, right around the time that what's that? Tinley Park Convention Center came
Mm-hmm.
into effect. They started to see where the south suburbs was a tourist generator because you had a lot of infrastructure out here. Then we looked at what else can be put out here: canoeing, um, baseball fields. We started looking at big venues for family reunions, and um, people really don't understand how many golf courses are out here in the south
Mm.
suburbs.
Yeah.
You got the number one prime golf course in Illinois for sure, and maybe for a lot of other areas would be the Olympia Fields Country Club.
Yeah. They had the U.S. Open there, didn't they?
Yes, they did, and
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have it again. Um, that was a big deal, a big benefit for the South suburban area to see that people were coming out here from all over the world, and they were looking for heads and beds. Where can we sleep? Where can we stay? Stayed at
Mm-hmm.
people's homes. We had listings of homes that people were renting out, leasing out for the
Airbnbs.
air,
Yeah.
yeah, like an Airbnb. The South suburban area was like my home, my baby. And when you said to me that the presidential award, um, it just touched me because I felt like I've worked hard for the South suburban area, and for one time in my life, someone gave me the props, the kudos, the thank you, John. You did a great job. And so, Ron, I appreciate how, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Uh,
Amen.
our organization that it will be coming to fruition should show more people love, should show more,
Mm-hmm.
uh, acknowledge more businesses, more business people, more black women and black men that are successful and doing a good job and been community based all of this time and had their hands in a lot of how the South suburban area grow. We had a lot of great mayors. Mayor Miller from Markham was
Mm-hmm.
one of the first black mayors in the South suburban area, other than I think it was Robbins. Always had a black mayor, but that was a predominantly black community. Dick
Right.
Markham was a mixed, highly mixed community,
Yep. And
and
then they had David Johnson. You know.
became the mayor of Harvey.
Yep.
And then you had the mayor of Ford Heights, Saul Beck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was like, it's like the quarterbacks, black quarterbacks. They're not smart enough to be quarterbacks. They're not going to be successful in the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
field. You know why?
Yeah.
That's why we don't have a lot of black quarterbacks. But they found that that's a lie.
Yep. That's a
It's
lie.
a misnomenclature. It's a miscommunication of, and it's a shame that as a people we do great things and no one appreciates it
Not at
or
all.
doesn't give you the accolades for doing what you're doing.
Right.
So it meant a whole lot to me.
Good.
It
Good.
meant
Good.
that someone other than my immediate family recognizes that you did a lot of things in the community and you should be acknowledged for it.
Since the '70s, brother. Since the '70s, man. I'm telling you, man. You've been doing what you've been doing a long time. And it was an honor and a privilege. Let me just spin this, and incorporate it into what we're talking about. When they mentioned my name to receive an award, and the Spirit of God told me that you didn't get there by yourself. There were people like you and others. There were 14 others on that day that received awards, and they need to be honored just like I was honored to be able to receive it. And I just wanted to let you know that this came from a higher power. Not just me trying to, pat my buddy on the back. You know what I'm saying? Which I would do any day,
Ron,
Yes, sir.
let me take this. Now it's an emergency. Hold on one second.
Yes, sir.
Go
All
ahead,
right.
brother.
So, John has been, like I said, a friend and a brother for a very long time. And it was an honor and a privilege to include him and all the other brothers that had received on that day, 6/22 of this year. And like you say, there are other people out there that have been doing what they've been doing that
Hmm.
we all know of, and they just ain't had a turn yet. And we're going to make sure that they get a turn.
That's right.
And I just want you to know, man, I love you too, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And I appreciate you. Keep up the good work, man, because we get weary in well doing because people they see us, but they don't see us. But that's okay because we do what we do because we love what we do, and we just do it. And like I said, the programs have come a long way since the '70s, all the way up to 2024, 25 is right around the corner, and we ain't dead yet. We still got some more work to do. And I'm gonna throw this out there. You know, one of the things that we are looking to do is lay a roadmap for young people to get to where we are.
Hmm.
To let young people know that this can be you as well, you know, and show them how to get there. Not just tell them, but show them, how to get to where we are,
Hmm.
you know. And I know you're older than me. I'm a young dude, and I appreciate all you've shown me up to this time, you know. And I just want to encourage you to keep up the great work. Don't give up. Keep up. Keep it up. We got a few minutes. I know you came in late, but we're gonna keep on going because I know your folks is calling for you. But I gotta ask two questions, and I know you already know. I know one of the answers because you've been on the show before. Will you come back and see me again?
Oh, yes. Anytime.
Good. And the
Anytime.
and the next question is, what would you like to leave with the people on today?
Hug your children. Make them feel loved. Let them know that they're special. I think if we make sure, a lot of these students come back and tell me something all the time. They say, "Thanks, Mr. Thompson. If it wasn't for you, I might not have got through this and not in the situation that I'm in. And you've always been helpful, and you always." And I say, my heart feels good with that. And I think that if we can show that to our kids, that your life can be fantastic if you just take the time and think about what you want to do. And if you need help, just ask for it. Pete, there's you could refer people to us. You know, I still like to see young people get ahead and become successful. And remember this, all of them aren't college-bound students. That's where I
Right.
think we forget something. Always we want to
Right.
make them go to college, make them go. They may not want to be a college student,
That's right.
but there should be something that we can offer them as an alternative that'll make them just as successful,
Absolutely.
just as successful. And then later on, they may want to go to school and get a degree or two.
Absolutely.
But
Yep.
let's not lose them in the interim of high school to manhood or to motherhood or to being a grown, responsible adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and just remember, love is the answer to everything.
Absolutely.
You
Love
know,
is.
if you love yourself, love your mother, love your family, love everything, everybody, you'll be successful.
Which is the name of the foundation.
There it
Love
is.
is.
Love
Yep.
is.
Nice segue. Now, I didn't get a chance to put an email or a phone number up here. You got one you want to give to the people?
Well, my email is Markham, MARKHAM _ John Thompson at yahoo.com.
All right.
That's our
So
company's email address.
you got it. Hey, man, I thank you and I appreciate you. I know we got a little, delayed in the beginning, but I appreciate you.
I got that computer glitch. That's
There
what
you go.
happened to me.
There you go.
You can't get on, and then as soon as you try to do it too quickly, it gets to be complicated.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I had to
Well,
schedule myself a little earlier next time and
there
be
you go.
ready for you.
Hey, man, I love you, man. Stay strong. You stay right there. I'm going to end the show. Appreciate you so very much.
Well,
I want to invite you guys to join me each and every Saturday from the desk of Dr. Ron, where I get a chance to tell you guys what's on my heart, what's on my mind, each and every Saturday at 12 noon. So please join me each and every Saturday at 12 noon. Please don't tell somebody. I want to thank everybody that have made donations and contributions up to this point in time. These are all the ways that you can send money to keep me going, doing what I'm doing. I thank you guys. I appreciate it. I thank you for taking time out to watch the show. Please subscribe, like, and share. While you're here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share it with somebody. We are doing a series now on all of the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award winners. So you understand what I understand about how valuable these people are to us in our community. So next week we'll have another celebrity award winner. So please don't hesitate. Tell somebody, tune in so that you can find out what's going on in this arena that we call life. I love you guys. You stay blessed, stay powerful, and we'll